The hymn is familiar in every parish in England. The church is at Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, in the heart of cowboy country. The Reverend John Pascoe claims that his fidelity to traditional ritual and conservative theology led to his expulsion from the Episcopal Church. His bishop says that Father Pascoe was expelled because he misappropriated church funds, taking for his parish what was meant for the diocese.
Grant, O Lord, that thy truth alone may be spoken, thy truth alone received, in the name of
the intervention of the Bishop of London in the dispute has made it a focus for an international battle between liberals and conservatives.
I'm amazed at the tremendous amount of stir that centers around this tiny parish, because all we have done here is what's always been done. Suddenly we're the rebels or crusaders or something, but we haven't changed.
Almighty God, to you all hearts are open.
The development in the Episcopal Church that most angered Father Pascoe was the decision, a decade ago, to ordain women as priests. There are now 600 of them serving in the church here. The Bishop of London has long argued that the ordination of women in England would split the church. The existence of breakaway groups like Father Pascoe's in America might seem to provide evidence for his argument. But Father Pascoe's bishop dismisses that.
One of the things that I think needs to be made plain, particularly to the people in England, is that despite all that you read about schismatic groups and unhappiness over where the Episcopal Church in the United States stands on the issue of ordination of women and so on, the total number of people who have entered into any of the schismatic churches is 15,000. 15,000 out of about 3 million. And about 100 clergy out of some 12,000 clergy. So we're talking about something that is really a very minute little segment of people.
Those parishioners who've remained loyal to Father Pascoe don't agree. Technically, St. Michael's is no longer a parish. The bishop has turned it into a mission under his direct control and appointed another priest to take charge. But Father Pascoe says he's still in control, and he keeps the parking space marked "He who parketh here preacheth," and a car with a personalised number plate. The Bishop of London's visit is eagerly looked forward to, and those who worship here, some of them English expatriates, support Father Pascoe.
I do admire the courage of the Reverend Pascoe in maintaining the faith. I'm very, very interested in this church. I don't come too often, I must admit, but I am extremely interested in the future of this church.
I'm tremendously grateful that we have someone like Father Pascoe to help us. I grew up in the church, and this is the same service that I grew up with 60 years, starting 60 years ago. I like it.
Oklahoma still has many of the characteristics of the Wild West, but religion is taken very seriously, and theology is as much a local pastime as the two-step. In Tulsa's Yellow Pages, the list of different denominations runs for 10 pages, and even some of the most obscure groups have themselves split into separate churches, like the Church of God Anderson Independent branch. Bishop McAllister believes that the Bishop of London's intervention here poses a real threat to relations between the Episcopal Church and the Church of England.
If we end up within the Anglican Communion unable to respect the integrity of the provinces, the independent national churches that make up the whole of the Anglican Communion, then certainly we're going to end up with a rather frayed and tattered kind of fabric of unity. So it potentially could be a very serious thing if he chooses to push that position.
He says it would be wrong if to interfere in the affairs of another church, and he's refused to do that, as I understand it. In our case, since this is clearly not a part of the Episcopal Church, he can't possibly be seen as interfering in the affairs of the Episcopal Church.
The Lord be with
The congregation here expect the Bishop of London to visit them within the next 10 days. Father Pascoe says he never intended to fight a crusade, but the battle over Michael's is rapidly becoming one. Edward Sturton, ITN, Oklahoma.